friends, and welcome back. This is Kevin's Hobby Showcase. My name is Kevin, and you may have also seen me on the YouTube channel Tabletop Productions presents 2 Dates Playing Board Games, where me and my friend John play games and have a great time doing it. Well, today I'm going to be working on some minis from a game that I haven't done yet. It's a game called Federation Commander from the company Armadillo Design Bureau. Now, this is a game that I'm pretty familiar with. In fact, I used to play the earlier version of it, which is a lot more elaborate, called Starship Battles. And you know, it basically it's like I said, it's a very elaborate game. They kind of simplified it into into Federation Commander, and but all the miniatures that were sold from Starfleet Battles can be used, and so that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on Star Trek, and it's also from the era of the original series. So it's none of the newer shows, none of the the Next Generation era shows. It's from the original series. So those of you who love watching Kirk, Spock, and the rest of them, you know, these are the ships from that era. So first, so we got here for today. I'm gonna hold it up. We got Federation ships. This is what I'm going to be doing today. I got 5 ships in total. Whoops. One thing about these miniatures, as I, even though it was off camera, I just kind of demonstrated, they're all metal. They're made of pewter. And as you can see with the bases, it's like a hex base with a very thin, very thin stem going up, and if anything jostles the, whatever these minis are on, they will fall. They will topple over. But if you have a good glue and you put it all together, well, they won't fall apart. As a matter of fact, for the most part, there's not a lot of pieces, maybe with the exception of the Federation ships, which maybe a few more pieces than usual. But for the most part, these ships are generally in just a few pieces, like one main big piece, and then sometimes little bits here and there. I will say though that they can be a little bit difficult to build, especially when you're putting them on the stand. But generally, they're not too bad. As far as using them, painting them, and all that, and it can be very fun. When you put them, because you can play that game in 2 ways. One is with counters on a hex map, or miniatures on a bigger hex map. And so when John and I finally get to use this on Tabletop Jones Productions, obviously we're using the minis, because when you're filming, the little counters on the hex map, it's going to be a bit harder to see. So anyway, so first I got to prime, and then we get to the painting. So stay with me, and next we'll be priming these Federation miniatures. And welcome back, and let me just say, after saying about how these pieces stay together, I dropped a couple of these Federation starships and they broke off the base, so we only got 3 instead of 5, so I got to reassemble those. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to hold it out here. I'm going to do a little bit. These pieces are very small, so we don't need all that much. Alright, here we go. That's all it takes. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now I also try to get the stem to the base, because for the ships that look similar, I try to get it so that I can put a different color on it, so I can note it on the data sheet for when I play the game. So anyway, that's the Federation. Next is the base. That's the Federation starship. Next is the base coat. All right, be right back. Hello, and welcome back. So I primed the Federation ships. Unfortunately, I had dropped 2 of them, and they broke off the base. So I gotta actually reassemble those. So I'll be doing those another time. But I still have 3 Federation ships that I can do right now. So the base coat is white. There's actually a whole set of painting guides that you can find on the Starfleet Battles website. So that's what I'm pretty much going by. So, so they said for the Federation, the base coat is white, so that's what I'm going to start with. All right, let's get the thing on. Let's point you down. All right, and let's just get to it. So it's a good chance that doing these ships will not take long. Some color bleeding through on that one. There we go. Okay. So we'll get white. Oops. Get the white paint all over. Now the thing about the Starfleet Battles miniatures, especially when it comes to painting schemes, it's basically just base coat and then what certain parts of the ship normally look like. So it's like, you know, and then also, you know, like little things like, because on these miniatures they don't really have a lot of very identifiable, like, you know, weapons or anything. Usually it's just like, it's like almost like a little dot that's raised up on the metal. So I just gotta, it's just a matter of identifying them, and then putting like a little like dot of paint on those. I mean, some of them are a little bit more you know, identifiable, like the tips of the nacelles. Also, the deflector dish, which I'm going over right now in the white paint. You know, little bits here and there to make it look like things that would normally be lit up. It's like they even have, like, they have different areas where it's like supposed to be like a shield grid and, you know, stuff like that. All right, so just good. And of course, you know, since I've got multiples of these starship miniatures, I'm going to be doing the painting in what, you know, I've referred to in other videos as assembly line, where I take one color and I go through all of them, you know, and then, you know, another color, do the same thing. So all those little details, you know, are going to be done that way. Now I don't normally do the washes on these because there isn't a lot of little crevices to fill, but I might change my mind on that. Get all this done. Actually, right now I think I have a little race against the battery right now. So I will say that battery for this camcorder I have, because I record in HD, it goes dead pretty darn quickly. Okay. Alright. Fill this all in. Alright. I think I rubbed off some of it over here. Alright. Okay, and one more. So like I said, this is all from the era of the original series, but they did put together some ships that look a lot different from what we've normally seen, but pretty much kept to the like the basic design concept of all the ships for the different empires and races and all that. Yeah, so they did take a couple of liberties, I think, or maybe not. Maybe they actually consulted the people who worked on the shows and whatnot, and asked them for ideas. Who knows? Oops, a little bit much. Just gotta spread that around. Okay, looks like we're covering everything here. All right. Okay. All right. So that's the base coat for this. I'll get this off. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and when we come back, we'll start doing the little details. It's going to be, it should go, excuse me, it should go quick, and may go quick. I just don't know if it'll, for sure if it'll go quick, all right? So, stay tuned. Okay, we've given the white paint some time to dry, and now we're going to do all the little details on these Federation starships. So, let me just put this on. Let's put this down. Okay. I'm going to go with the red first. Okay. Alright, the red. Everything, every color for these minis has to go in a very specific place. So we got the nacelles, which is basically the warp engines. You got the intake is to be red. And the exhaust. Okay. Now, on the guide, it doesn't mention it, but we all know about it. Those of us who watched the show also know that the deflector dish also needs to be, excuse me, in red. All right. Now, they don't show this one, but we all know from the show the bottom one was red. The top part is going to be the bridge, which is another color, but the bottom was red. Alright, so let's move on to these other starships here. Alright. So the intake, and now exhaust. And the deflector dish. Okay. And we do the same three things here. Okay. So anybody who is interested in this game, I will give you one warning on it. It can get pretty pricey, especially with the more modules that you buy. Which is why I don't get stuff for this game often. That's all the red. Let's see which one I'm going to do next. Which color? Alright. Let's put this away. I think I just put my thumb in it. No, I didn't. Okay, good. Alright, so now we're going to use the blue. And the blue, it shows on the painting guide to use for basically the... get a good brush. That's good as any. So it's basically for an area for the shield grid, and then for the impulse engines. So this back here is this is actually supposed to be the shield grid, and impulse engines are right back here. So a lot of their stuff, when it comes to the details, is on areas that are pretty thin. Okay, now I'm going to do a little extra here because they got a little indents in the warp engines. And if I remember right from the show, in these indents and the warp engines can sometimes be a bluish color. Alright, so that's that one. Now some of these kind of improvise as to where you're going to put what. So I'm going to do this, the shield grid, and sometimes it's very, very subtle as for the raised area for certain things. Okay, that's that one. And now this one. Now, this is another game I unfortunately don't get to play as much as I would like. Alright, one thing I'm going to do with the blue, because what I do sometimes to help identify ships is I put some color on the stem for the base. Do that for that one. And for the spec, so it's like if there's more than one of the mini type. This way, when you're looking at it from the from that data sheet, and they actually made it pretty cool with the Federation Commander, because with Starfleet Battles it was just data sheets, but they made it actually like a dry erase or wet erase, depending on what marker you use, laminated card in Federation Commander, so it made it a little easier to deal with, because you don't have to keep reprinting out data sheets or copying or photocopying data sheets. Alright, so next I'm going to do this gray color. The gray is supposed to go onto little tiny dots that they would put on this to signify the phasers. So let's see how many I can find. Oh, I've got one here. Got one there. It's like little tiny dots. Basically, I would say when you find them, just do the best you can. Don't stress out about how much of it you're actually covering, because you'll drive yourself crazy. Alright, anything on the underside? Actually, there is. Look at that. Get that one there. There's that one there. And I believe that's it for this one. Let's see how many I can find on these little ones here. Actually found quite a bit. Okay, oh, actually there is. Oops, oh, let's not drop these. There is a little something on the underside. Okay. Alright, now don't get tripped up by how many dots you see on the Mini and how many actual phasers are on the data card. Because, I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have something that's representing, excuse me, as long as you have something that's representing the ship, you know, you're good. And most of the stuff that you're going to do with the minis is just to make it look good. All right. So that was the gray. See, this is actually going pretty darn quickly. Because when it comes to the details, you're not actually putting a whole heck of a lot on. And now, last part. Well, actually, there will be one more part because I kind of glossed over it, but let me get this first, which the yellow for the bridge, which isn't excuse me, which isn't going to amount to a whole heck of a lot because it's just this little bit of area right up here. All right. Okay. And okay. So, one thing I did forget to do, which I'm going to fix right now. Let me wipe this. So when I put the primer on, obviously some got on the base, and I don't want my bases to look messy. So I'm going to take out my black paint. Okay. Get another brush. All right. Don't have to go crazy, just, I mean, you don't even have to do this if you don't want to, but like I said, I don't want my minis to look messy. So I will paint the base just to make it look a little bit better. And I think I put my hand on that blue paint just a little too prematurely, but I'm trying to get a move on this. All right. All right. Oh yeah, and then there is actually one more thing that I could do. Okay. So I was talking before about doing things to help me identify which ship is which. So these two ships are pretty much the same. I have the base on that in blue. Let's do the stem on that in blue. Let's do the stem on that one in red. Okay. All right. So this didn't take very long, and I'm not going to do the armor wash. I'm not going to do the wash on these. because ships in space generally don't look gritty. So, so basically I'm just going to leave them as is. All right. Okay. Here we go. Finished product. Some Federation starships ready to do battle in space. Okay. Alright, so that's it for this one. I do have other ships to paint for the game Federation Commander, but that's going to be in other videos. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you like the way it came out. If anyone out there plays this game and you paint, you get the minis and you paint them yourself, I'd love to see what they look like. Please post pictures in the comments, and please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video as much as possible. Give the channel as much exposure as possible, and also check out Tabletop Jones Productions. Please do the same, like and subscribe, and share those videos as much as possible. We'd like to broaden our audience and build as much of an audience as we can. All right, thank you very much, and have a great day, and I will see you again. Take care.